Okay, I don't know a good way to categorize these types of chords that I'm gonna teach you right now. So I just call them flat and sharp chords, and there are four of them, sort of five, but let's say four. So there's a basic bit of theory underlying this that's binding them all together. So let's take a look at a F major seventh. Which notes does that have? Well, it has F, A, C, E. And what we can discover is that there's a chord that sounds very different, that's very similar, and it's not what you would expect. It's not D minor 7, and it's not A minor 7. We're not talking about that. We're talking about a completely different chord. It's a chord that raises the root, just the root, and the rest stays. So what do we have? A minor third, a diminished fifth, and a minor seventh. That's F sharp, half diminished. These chords are very, very similar. Now, we can do several things with this. If we want to take the 4 chord and raise the root, we would get something I call the sharp 4, half diminished. Okay? I'll give you an example of this one in a second. Then we could also take the 6 chord in a minor key. However, when we're in a major key, we can borrow from a minor key and just take that 6th chord, the 6th chord, and just raise that one. So now we got the sharp 6, half diminished. In the key of C, this would be F sharp half diminished. And we would have taken A flat major 7th, raised the A flat to be A, meaning the major 7th becomes half diminished. Okay? Pretty rare, but it exists. In the key of C, we've got these. However, we can also go the other way. We could take the 7, which is half diminished, and lower it, giving us a flat 7. That's major. And this would be, in the key of C, B flat major 7th, not B flat 7th, like a Muldoor chord, but B flat major 7th. We can also take the 2 Muldoor, 2 half diminished, in the key of C major, and lower that to make a flat 2, giving us D flat major 7. Okay, let's take a look at a couple examples here. Now, for one, there's Love on Top, which uses 1 sharp 4. Oh wait, I called this 6, but that's 4. Oops, 4 sharp 4, and then goes to 4 and to 5. And this is a loop that the song is based on. It does use a few other chords, but this is the foundation of Love on Top. I'll give it to you guys in a second. And then there's this cool way to end the song where you use, where the singer, let's put it here, ends on a C note for a whole measure. And instead of just ending on a C major chord, well, I mean, eventually we will end on a C major chord, but we will make a journey towards there using A flat major 7th. Now this is the 3rd, B flat major 7th with a 9, because that note will be the 9, and then D flat major 7th, making this the 7th of that chord. And this would be a flat 7, a flat 2, oh, and that's a 6th chord from minor. So we take that from minor. You could, let's just notate it like that for now, because we're using the flat 6th of the key of C. So I'll play you the first example first and the second example second. Okay, so Love on Top. Exact chord I just showed you guys. It's F sharp half diminished. Moving to F sharp major 7th, though I like a 9, and then a more complex dominant with some extra harmony in between, but it really emphasizes that sharp 4 there, right? Okay, let's take a look at the other example. Now I might be playing some ballad, I don't know. Melody, my singer will end up singing this high. No, just hold that on forever. I'm not a singer like that, so I can't let you know what that sounds like, but I'll do what I can, even though it's not much. This is this long drawn out ending towards the tonic, back to the tonic, which you can use these major 7th chords for. Now there's a chord progression we talked about a while ago, a long time ago actually, many videos ago. And it was something like this. 1 and then a secondary dominant with the 3rd in the bass moving to the 4 chord. Then a secondary dominant with the 3rd in the bass moving to the 5 chord. And then 1, okay, we replaced this with 1 over its 5th and then to 5 to 1. But we're going to replace this one as well now, because in classical music, which basically developed all this theory and all this harmony, they would use a sharp 4 actually. And I told you guys earlier on that there are 4 chords, maybe sort of 5. Well, the sharp 4 sometimes uses a full diminished chord instead of a half diminished chord, for no other reason than because it works. That's just what it is. So we get C, then we get C7 over 3, moving to F, potentially F major 7 if you want to, then F sharp, moving to C over G, moving to G7, moving to C. Which F sharp you use, whether it's half diminished or diminished, is based on how much tension you want. And if you've ever heard of a chord called double diminished, it's controversial whether it actually exists or not. I think it does, but it's a controversy. But that would be also a sharp 4. That's where you would find that. Okay, let's do half diminished for now, and I'll let you guys know what this sounds like. I'll let you guys hear it. You have definitely heard this cliche before. So while we're at it, why not take a look at the double diminished chord as well. We can have F sharp half diminished, consisting of F sharp, A, C, and E, giving me a 1, a minor 3rd, a diminished 5th, and a minor 7th. Now if we go to F sharp diminished, we don't just have a diminished 5th, but we also have a diminished 7th, right? So if we go to, there's no symbol for double diminished. So if we go to F sharp double diminished, the idea is that we don't just have a diminished 5th and a diminished 7th, but we also have a diminished 3rd. So that's one controversy. Like, what do you mean diminished 3rd? That doesn't sound like a diminished 3rd. It sounds like a 2nd. Well, yeah, maybe. Another problem here is that this looks a whole lot like an A flat major triad. with an F sharp as a bass note, A flat major over A sharp, or actually A flat major over G flat. This is A flat 7 over G flat. Now, why do we just call it that instead of double diminished? Okay, so the argument here is, in a dominant chord, the 7th wants to resolve a half step down. That's what it does. That's rather definitive that it wants to do that. In this case, in this context, which is where the double diminished comes from, as a sharp 4 chord, now the G flat wants to resolve up to G. This is in motion from C flat, or C7/E to F sharp to G. It's going up semitones, right? So this one wants to go up to G. The context is just going to force that feeling. So that's what a double diminished chord would be. Whether you think it exists or not is up to you. I think it's a solid argument, but not everybody does. So that's it. Good luck and have fun.